Hey, what's up guys? Rocket welcoming you back to the channel, and today I got a special video for you guys going over all 31 NHL teams off-season moves. This will be split in a two-video series, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. The link to the second video is in the description below. So I'm going to be going over one conference per video, going over each team's free agency signings, notable trades, first round draft pick, and give them an individual rating. Of course, I'm not going to go over any coach changes or re-signings, so strictly the additions or subtractions of the team. Leave comments down in the comments below with your thoughts and opinions on these moves as well. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Gonna bring you guys some hockey and NHL related content all season long. Enjoy the video guys. Here we go with my opinions on the NHL offseason. Alright, starting off the Western Conference with the Central Division, the Chicago Blackhawks. They made a lot of moves in this offseason, acquiring Cam Ward, Chris Kunitz, and Brandon Manning in free agency. Corey Crawford was hurt as of last year. He is coming back this year with the duo of Corey Crawford and Cam Ward. Two players who've been in the league for quite some time. I think that's going to be a really strong goaltending duo. Chris Kunitz has a lot of veteran leadership as well to the team. Notable trades. This is a big one. They traded Marian Hossa's contract and some other players and picks to Arizona. They notably got Marcus Kruger along with a few other players in a pick. First round pick Adam Boqvist, number 8, and Nicolas Baudin, 27 overall. Gonna give them an A. Of course, they got rid of Host's contract, got some key players in free agency. Find the Blackhawks have a really strong team, of course, with pillars like Kane, Tays, Seabrook, and Keat. Looking forward to see what that team can do this year. Next up, we have the Colorado Avalanche, who added in free agency Ian Cole and Matt Calvert. Notable trades, of course, getting Philip Grubauer and Brooks Orpik, which was eventually put on waivers to Washington. And Grubauer going to be backing up most likely Varlamov in this year. First round pick Martin Kaut, I believe that's how you pronounce it, number 16. Going to give them a B overall. Next up, the Dallas Stars, who made a few free agency acquisitions. No notable trades that really stand out. They got Roman Polak, Anton Khudobin, and Blake Como, and a first-round pick of Ty Dellandrea, number 13. Gonna give them a solid B+. Next up, the Minnesota Wild, who got in free agency multiple players. They got Greg Patterson, they got JT Brown, Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar. They got Eric Fair, Matt Hendricks, and Matt Reed. So all really good players. Some of these have good experience in the NHL, of course. No notable trades. They got Philip Johansson and 24th overall. Gonna give the team a B. Pretty solid offseason, adding some really good players. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators. So the Nashville Predators are known to have one of the best defensive cores in the NHL. You look at Subban, you look at Ellis, you look at Yossi, you look at all those guys. They added Dan Hamhuis and Jared Tenorti. Tenorti brings a lot of toughness. Hamhuis, a veteran in the league. And Zach Rinaldo, speaking of toughness, he is now part of the Nashville Predators. Notable trades, trading a few picks in Victor Edsel to Chicago for Ryan Hartman and a 5th round 2018 pick. No notable first round picks in the draft as well. Overall team rating in A. They added some really solid players to boost up the D core and some toughness. Two left in the Central. We're going to go over the St. Louis Blues, adding in free agency multiple really good players. I mean, the St. Louis Blues had a really strong offseason, adding Tyler Bozak, David Perron, Chad Johnson, Jordan Nolan, and Patrick Maroon, and acquiring Ryan O'Reilly from the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, that team is going to be really scary. If you look at players they already have, like Tarasenko, watch out for the St. Louis Blues. I'm giving them an A+. Also acquiring Dominic Bog in the 25th pick for the draft. My prediction for the Central Division winners, I'm going to go with the Winnipeg Jets, making it to the Western Conference Finals against the Vegas Golden Knights in last year's playoffs. Notable trades, Steve Mason to Montreal, who was eventually put on waivers. Joel Armia, and they got Simon Book which was really the only notable moves that I could find for Winnipeg Jets that really stood out this year. No picks, no free agency signings. I'm going to give them a C. They really didn't do much, although they don't need necessarily to do much with the team they have. Look at players like Line, Scheifele, Wheeler. All those guys are going to carry the team. And Hellebuck, Vezina, candidate. That team's going to be really strong again this year. I expect a deep playoff run from the Winnipeg Jets. And last but not least, the Pacific Division. Starting off with the Anaheim Ducks, adding in free agency Andre Schuster and Luke Shen to add to their already really good defensive core. They already got Cam Fowler. Unfortunately for them, losing Corey Perry for 5 months is really, really tough for that team. Notable trades, and none that I could find for this year. The first round pick, Isaac Ludestrom, 23rd overall. I'm going to give the team a B+. Next up, we have the Arizona Coyotes, adding in free agency Michael Grabner, and of course that big trade with Chicago acquiring Marian Hossa's contract, along with many players and picks involved, and that big trade sending over Max Domi to Montreal, which brings a lot of grit to the team for Alex Galchenyuk, which is a very talented shooter. He can score some goals. I mean, I don't feel like Alex Galchenyuk has reached his full potential yet. I really hope for him that he can have a breakout season with the Coyotes this year. And Coyotes have some really good young players. Of course, getting Barrett Hayton, number 5, for a 5th overall in the draft. I'm giving them an A-. Pretty strong offseason for the Arizona Coyotes. Next up, we have the Calgary Flames, who is one of the teams in the West that I found had a better offseason. Look at the free agency signings they had and the trades they had. They gave up Dougie Hamilton and Michael Furlan, Adam Fox. They get James Neal, Noah Hannafin, Elias Lindholm, and that's some really key players there. They didn't have any first-round picks, but with the additions of especially Neal and Hannafin, I'm giving the Flames an A+. Edmonton is next on the list, adding in free agency Tobias Ryder, Kyle Brodziak, and Jakub Jerzabek, which, I mean, they didn't make a lot of big moves, no big trades, but first-round pick Evan Bouchard is going to be great for that team in the moving forward. They already have a really strong team, obviously. Connor McDavid, the best player in the league, arguably at the moment. Going to give them an A- just because of that. Evan Bouchard is going to be a beast in the league. Good pick. LA is next, and the Los Angeles Kings with one of the bigger moves if you look at just effect on the league. Ilya Kovalchuk coming back to the NHL. I'm so excited to watch this guy play again in the NHL. Notable trades, Andrei Andrehoff to Tampa Bay. Of course, they gave up Peter Budaj. First round pick of Rasmus Kupari, 20th overall. I give them an A. Not going to give them an A+. Kovalchuk is a bit older now, although I've seen highlights in preseason. The guy can still score. Next up, we have the San Jose Sharks with one of the biggest trades in the decade. Erik Karlsson is now a member of the San Jose Sharks. And what a steal. They gave up Chris Tierney, Dylan DeMello, Josh Norris, Rudolph Balcers, and a few picks for Erik Karlsson and Francis Panon. Karlsson, arguably the best defenseman in the league. I mean, the only guys I could see have better seasons than Karlsson would be Hedman, potentially Doughty or Burns. Karlsson usually the best defenseman in the league in points. And if you look at the power play the Sharks can have, you look at players like, of course, Brett Burns and Erik Karlsson on the same team. Come on. They got players like Thornton, Couture, Pavelski. That team is going to be pretty dangerous. First round pick Ryan Merkley, 21st overall. Going to give them an A+. A solid A+. Talk about the Vancouver Canucks, who added Quentin Hughes, 7th overall. Jay Beagle and Antoine Roussel in free agency. No notable trades, but Hughes is going to be really good. Of course, his brother Jack Hughes coming up in next year's draft. I'm going to give Vancouver A. And last but certainly not least, the last year's Western Division winners and my prediction to win the Stanley Cup in 2019, the Vegas Golden Knights. That's right, I'm getting a bold prediction here, guys. Adding in free agency, Paul Stastny, Daniel Carr, Fucali, sending Tatar Suzuki and a pick for Max Pacioretty to Montreal. So just with the addition of Stassi and Pacioretty, they can replace James Neal. Pacioretty is a 30-goal scorer. He has the potential to get to 40. I believe he had 39 one year in Montreal. With Furry in net, Perzak, Carlson, Marchessault, I honestly think Vegas can go all the way this year. Wishing them good luck. Gonna give the team an A+. And that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, have a great day.